Hello there, my name is David Postansky and welcome to the Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channel. What are you up to today? I'm not up to much. I'm just playing Intellivision Amico using two tablets, a phone and a tablet, phone as a controller, tablet here, and check this out. So here we have Intellivision Amico. I've got two games for it and today we're going to be doing a review of Missile Command. I can't believe this. Intellivision Amico, it's actually here. But how good is it and how good are the games? We're going to find out. To say that I am playing Missile Command for this review has me shocked and delighted. Just a few days ago I was playing the original Missile Command as part of my review process for the Atari 2600 Plus, and now, quite unexpectedly, I have a brand new Missile Command to play on the Intellivision Amico. It's a day I genuinely never thought would come. Most of us will know the story by now. The Intellivision Amico was the new modern retro-themed console that was filled with promise, but hit a few stumbling blocks along the way, and it didn't seem like it would ever come out. The last couple of years have been a trying time for those excited for the Amico, to say the least. Plans to see the console release in spite of the troubles were announced, and a glimmer of light came in announcements a few months ago that a few games would release on other platforms, and that a new service called Amico Home would launch to make sure that players had a way to play some of the games whilst waiting for the physical console. Well, Amico Home is now here and players can finally start playing Intellivision Amico games. Before we get any further on this review, I just wanted to take a moment to show you what's on the screen right now. This is a screen recording of the Amico controller app. So I've got this as a second and separate screen recording of what was going on the controller app, and I'll be honest, syncing this up with the gameplay footage was nearly impossible. And I do get that because of some of the controversy a year or two back where it didn't look like things were in sync and there was lag and stuff, it would seem ironic that this isn't going to look like it matches the gameplay. But I'm going to show it over the screen at times just to give you a sense of what you see on the controller app at the same time as when you're playing in a game. But just so there's no controversy, it's not that it's out of sync, it's just that my editing of it is not in sync because I didn't know how to sync them up pressing screen record at the same time. Now that controversy is out the way, let's continue. Amico Home is in beta testing, so there are a few issues that I'm sure will be worked out over time, but it is truly great to finally be able to play some of these games. Today I am reviewing Missile Command, and it's awesome to finally get my hands on this reimagined classic. The game has you control three gun turrets that are spaced out at the bottom of the screen, and you aim a reticle to shoot counterfire at wave after wave of missiles that threaten to hit cities that run across the screen between your guns. Your mission, should you accept it, is to outlast the onslaught of missiles and shoot them out of the air before they can hit the cities below. This task gets increasingly more challenging as the game progresses, and you'll find that enemies use smart missiles that dodge around your counterfire, and there are planes that shoot multiple missiles that seem to split off in three different directions at once. Fortunately, you do have a few tricks up your sleeve to help you progress along the way. The reticle that you use to aim is loaded with information which is actually very helpful and innovative. It shows you how much ammo you have on each gun at each corner of the reticle, and it also shows you that you have 3 shots of homing missiles that you can use to take out a massive enemy fire with just 1 shot. It also shows that you have a shield that will protect all of your guns and cities for a limited time. That all of this information is linked to the reticle itself is a very helpful way of showing a heads-up display. There are also several power-ups that you'll see floating across the level that can be shot out of thin air to be activated. This includes a ginormous bomb that can take out half a screen's worth of enemy missiles, and power-ups that improve your general fire. The best power-ups are the ones that slow down or stop time and freeze the enemy in their tracks. This makes it very easy to shoot the sitting ducks. Strategy wise, you'll want to keep a balance between shooting missiles as they first appear on screen and waiting until the missiles cross paths to get multiple with one shot. Graphically, the game is good, it's serviceable, but it won't blow your socks off. It's a very updated version of the classic Missile Command game that you may have played in the arcade or on the Atari 2600, but it still retains the look and feel of the original. So don't expect this to completely break new ground or change camera perspective. It's still Missile Command, but with a fresh lick of paint on it. You do have to keep in mind that Missile Command is an Atari franchise, so it's cool to see that they did a deal with Intellivision for this Amico exclusive take on the franchise. There has been Atari's own Missile Command Recharge games in recent years that have seen releases on modern consoles, Steam, and even the Atari VCS. Whilst the Recharge games have a neon glow in their graphical presentation, the Amico game is something that has a more expected update for a modern console look. It just looks like a more modern version of the graphics that they would have gone for back in the day. It would have been nice if there were more variety to the backgrounds or variety to the stages overall, but as it is, it works well enough, so there's not too many complaints there from me. What I found I struggled with at times was the controls. Keep in mind that this review is right after Amico Home has launched, and they say it's in beta testing, so we can revisit it when the game is fully released and see if there's any notable changes at a later date. This said, the game is available now, and for those who have paid for it or who are able to download the game because they have a boxed copy, they've paid for a full game, so should be able to expect it to work as a full game should. For me, I had mostly positive results, but there are a few things to note. The way Amico Home works is a little fiddly. You literally do need to have two screens to play the games, and that usually means you need two devices. I'm fortunate in that I have an Android phone, so could get into this straight away, as at the time of making this video, the iOS version of Amico Home is not yet available. The issue is that you do need to have two devices to run this. One device acts as the console and the other works as the controller. Most of my devices are iPads or iPhones, but as well as that, I do have an Android phone that I use for testing apps that I develop on the side. So I've got a couple of Amazon Fire tablets, which I had to do a little bit of tweaking to make sure they had the Google Play Store installed, but then it meant that I was able to use that, and then I could download Amico Home. I set this up on my Android phone to get the ball rolling, basically, and I downloaded Astro Smash and Missile Command, and that all worked fine. But when I then went to put this onto my Fire tablet and use that as the big screen, it wouldn't let me download Missile Command without trying to charge me a second time. It would let me download Astro Smash from my Google Play account, but alas, it didn't seem to want me to do it with Missile Command. So it meant that I had to play this on the small screen and then use the larger screen as the controller. A little bit fiddly. And one other point there, I guess, is because I wanted to dive straight into this, I have now paid for this through Google Play, which I have the feeling will mean later on, if I want to put it on my iPad, I'd end up being charged again. I don't know that for certain, but it's obviously something all players will need to figure out and consider. You have three control styles to choose from. The standard one was okay, but I found the best results from setting it up to be played like the touchscreen was a mousepad. I genuinely found the trackball option to be unplayable. You can tweak the sensitivity of the controls on the trackball. I found the display was a little bit messed up when you went into the settings, so for me I just used the mouse pad option and it worked pretty well. As I reached levels about 28 to 30, I found that I was having trouble because the controls would jump about the screen a bit and not follow exactly where I was wanting to aim. This was a little bit frustrating, so it's my hope that this gets ironed out with some updates when it goes into full release. In the coming days, I'll endeavour to test this with more different devices, as I'm sure the results will vary based on what Android devices you use for both the console and the controller aspects of the setup. In terms of completing the game and replay value, it's Missile Command, so you're just trying to stay alive as long as possible and build up as much of a high score as you can. If you want to just go through as many levels as you can choose to restart from every 5 stages that you make it to up to level 30. This is like choosing to start a game like Tetris from a later point. It means you don't have to do all of the early stages over and over again, but at the same time it also limits your ability to score extra when the game is simpler. You can also tweak things in the game so that it's easier or more challenging and change up how long each stage lasts. This can go from about 20 seconds long up to about a minute long, which means you can score a lot more, but it also means you have to survive a lot longer as well. I may have to go back and replay the new Missile Command games on the Atari VCS, the recharged ones, to see what I prefer out of the two. This is a very different game from any of the Missile Command games that have come before it, but having played the original 2600 game just a couple of days ago, I can say that this was a lot of fun. It's easy enough to get into and has enough challenge to make you just want to play that one more time on a difficulter level. It's probably not a game you'll play constantly for weeks and weeks, but it is a fun game, so it'll be something that you'll probably aim to return to try to beat your best score here and there. And certainly if you're catching the Amico fever, this will be something which is definitely worth returning to. It has that pick up and play vibe, which I know is what a lot of the games designed for the Amico were going for. Now, if you have been patiently waiting for the Amico for a long time, I'm sure you'll be pleased to finally be able to play this and the other games that will soon be available on the new Amico Home service. I'll also have a review of Astro Smash and my early review of Amico Home overall in the coming days, so do check them out. This game, as it is, isn't quite perfect with the controller options as I've been able to test so far, but I had a good time with it. So I hope you all enjoy playing Missile Command and Astro Smash and Shark and everything else that's going to be coming to Amico Home. And with this, I will ask, if you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful, then please take a moment to smash that subscribe button on youtube.com/@GeekBattleGaming. I really appreciate all of the support. Give me some comments. I try to respond to all of the comments that I get. And with that, do check out the written article version of this review over on www.xstreamed.tv. So anyway, this has been my review of the Intellivision Amico Missile Command on the Amico Home app. Now, like I've said, this is still in beta testing, so we can't fully judge it on what it may become in the future right now, but this is like the first kind of reviews that are going to come out, the first wave of reviews at the moment, and I had a good time with it. Is it the best thing ever? No, there's probably a couple of bugs that need to be worked out. As you can see now, like during the review, I'll have mentioned that I had to have, this is the screen, this is the controller, but I have figured it out since I recorded that part of the review, and it works a little bit better this way, but I'm going to continue to do tests in the coming days. So I'd really appreciate if you would smash that subscribe button. And on this is the Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channel, and you can check out the written review version of this over on www.xstreamed.tv. Perfect timing, there's the website. You'll notice the funny spelling of Extremed. I like to do a lot of videos on modern retro gaming stuff, so like I've just had the system review come up of the Atari 2600 Plus. I like to cover the Evercade. I have just got one of these, the Playdate, so there's going to be a bunch of this stuff on the channel, as well as some gaming documentaries. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you can do, leave us a comment and I'll respond to everything. Till next time, stay safe, always stay extremed. and ciao for now. Boom. And I'm off the air.